Hello. Today I'm in a slightly different location, as you can see. This is actually in the village where I grew up in England. It is a bright and slightly chilly spring day here, and today I'm going to be talking with you about the Trecena of cat. It's a very important Trecena. I know that I will often say things are very interesting or very important, but there's a reason why this 13-day period in particular is so important. And that's because it contains the day Washiki Bats, which is probably the most important day of the entire calendar. Now, I think one of the things that I have been trying to do through these videos is show how dynamic the sacred calendar is. That it's not just one day means this, one day means that, one day means that, and sort of like a collection of individual energies, individual days, but to show that particularly through the calendar and the way that I see it, through the way that the Trecenas flow, this is the weaving of time. This is how all of these days weave together. If you were to take individual words from a story, they might be meaningful words, but they might not mean as much as what they would mean if they were actually put into a sentence, put um, into the story itself. And so, for me, this is what I see we do when we look at it from the point of view of the Trecena, when we look at it from the point of view of the Maya cross, which is something else which may interest you. Now, while I'm on that subject, with regards to Mayan Cross and readings and that kind of thing, I'm going to be in Europe for a little while, which means that my times on my site are going to look a little bit odd. But what I've done is I've extended the times on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So for those of you who are watching from the Americas, you might find that there are more suitable times for you on Tuesdays and Thursdays within my calendar if you need or wish to get a reading with me. Okay, so I've tried to accommodate you. I'll do some evening work for you so that we can find a time that suits you better. Okay, so the Trecena of Cat, what's it all about? Well, Cat, the Nawal of the net, the Nawal that brings things together, the Nawal of gathering. Now, it's interesting that the Nawal Cat is also associated with the womb. When we see it as the gathering net, when we see it as the net which creates or provides abundance, this is something which we see the merchant or the farmer carries, but it's also something where we see, we put one thing in and we get many things out. And so the merchant may multiply what it is that they're carrying through carrying it in their net. But of course, a human life starts off as a fertilized egg which implants into the wall of the uterus, into the cat, you see, and then it multiplies to become a new life. And just as kind of like we might think that things that we put in our net, the produce that we put in our net, might have a shelf life, as it were. We know also with that human life that after about 9 months, the net has to be emptied, the birth has to happen, and so it's this planting that then moves to new life. And what I see with cat is that it is a great time to be planting something that you wish to multiply. So let's start with the day one cat. So this day, one cat, where we are planting a seed, where we're planting an idea, where we're planting what we wish to come to fruition. We're gathering together into oneness what we wish to fruit in 260 days' time, what we wish to bring in. And so it's a great day to begin gathering whatever it is that you might need to gather together. It's a great day for the beginning of that process, maybe sending out some ideas, sending out some feelers, as it were, to work out what you're going to bring together later on. Now, it's also, I see it as a good time for release, okay? Because whatever we're capturing, whatever we're bringing into our net, we have to make some space for it. We may have to make some room for it. And in order to do that, maybe we need to, you know, let go of something that we've been holding on to. So it's got this dualistic nature, as it were, in that we have to let go of something in order for the new to come in. So, like, one cat can be a great day for fresh starts. It can be a great day for fresh attachments, but those fresh attachments may well be at, well, I was going to say, at the expense of some old ones which no longer serve you. So it's a case of like letting go in order for the new to come in. And so one cat is a great day on which to go through that process. Have a look in what you're attached to, what you carry. See what is no longer required for your further journey so that you can let go of it so that the new comes into your bag. From one cat, we then move into two can. So can, the Nawal of power, the Nawal of wisdom. Okay, can also be the Nawal of teachers. The number two, representing duality, often comes down to a choice, and that choice can be very binary in nature. It's heads or tails, up or down, 1, 0. Okay, and so when we look at it from that point of view, we could see that which empowers and that which doesn't empower. We can see that which brings wisdom and that which doesn't bring wisdom. And it may well bring a very stark contrast between the two because, like I said, it's this polarity, 1 or 0. It either is or it is not. And in this time where we're working out which new connections we want to make and which old connections maybe we need to let go of in order to allow those new connections to come in, two can may well bring into very stark light what it's time to let go of. What, let's say, maybe we've been following a particular path, looking for empowerment, looking for wisdom, or whatever it might be. And Toucan may be the day that says, right, okay, now I really see that that path was not empowering me or was not empowering others. And it is time to make a break from that in order to search in a different direction. We can also see it in stark contrast as those teachers that we wish to include in those lives, and maybe some teachers where our work is done there for now. Okay, which ones to let go of, and so this in turn, in this one cat Trecena, sorry, can help us to understand, kind of like what we want, what wisdom we want to keep in our net, and what we want to let go of, and particularly for the things which may be disempowering. Toucan can be a great day to be identifying them and saying, hang on, I don't think that this has been very helpful to me or the people around me, to my community. It's time to let go of it. From Toucan, we then move into 3 Now, of course, letting go can often bring up some challenges from within, can often bring some fears within. Well, what if I let go of that? What will it mean? What will they say? All of these kind of things. We get those, those are often the reasons why we don't let go of things when we should do, right? But 3 is looking very much about, kind of like facing those inner fears, because we have Kame, which is about transformation. Yes, it is about the ancestors. Yes, it is about death, but it's also about facing our fears, because obviously, kind of like one of our greatest fears is often the fear of death itself. And here we see it with the number 3, which represents the within, which represents the home. So it might be about facing our fears within our home. It might be about facing the fears that we have deep within us. So I often see the 3 days as being rather introverted days, as being days where we're kind of like focusing on what's going on the inner world, within our homes, rather than, outside of us. And so 3 is a great day to go within, to spend some time maybe in retreat and look at what fears within you are stopping you from multiplying, what fears within you are binding you, because that cat, remember, the cat is also the things that bind us. And sometimes it's like, well, you know what, I'd love to do that. I'd love to go to Guatemala if only it wasn't for those things that I might fear within me. When actually it's kind of like, right, okay, maybe it's time to overcome that. Maybe it's time to take that journey. Maybe it's time to kind of like overcome that. Maybe it's time to understand what you need to hold on to and what you need to let go of. And by looking at those fears that you carry within you, it gives you a better understanding of like, right, hang on. Yeah, okay, I was scared of that when I was a kid. Why am I scared of it now? It's been proved not to be dangerous or whatever the case may be, you know? 3 May is a great day to go within and see which fears it's about time that you overcame so that you can release them from your net. From 3 May, we are then going into 4 Kirch. Well, isn't this a wonderful place to be talking about the energy of 4 Kirch? I don't know if you can hear the skylark which is singing behind me. Thankfully, the helicopter has now gone over, and it's beautiful to hear the skylark singing here in Suffolk. So, 4 Kirch, we have a number and a nawal, which are often, I mean, the kech relates to the four-legged ones. It relates to the animal kingdom. It relates to the wilderness. And of course, we have the four. And this is, kind of like, again, representing the animals, representing the physical reality, the physical wilderness. So here I am in this little spinney, full of trees, full of life coming back into the world, reconnecting with the natural world. And Forkech is a great day to be out there doing that. It's a great day to be getting out into nature, getting out into the woods. Hopefully for many of you in the north right now, then it's just becoming a sort of time when you feel like you can go out into the woods. And what do you get from it? You gain your strength. Because this is what Kech brings us. Kech, the Nawal, which represents our connection to the natural world. Kech, the one that also represents spiritual leadership. And, when we look at it, what we see is that we gain our insight from our connection with nature. And so, again, when we're looking at this Trecena of cat, when we're looking at about like what we want to attach to and what we want to let go of, maybe you've been inside of it too much over the winter and it's time to go and reconnect with nature. Maybe you need to gain some physical strength from going out there and having a bracing walk in the countryside or something like that. And maybe that bracing walk in the countryside also brings you some understanding that you'd been missing out on in your time on the inside, your time hibernating. Okay, so for Kech, get out of your cave and go and wander in the woods once more. From 4 Kech, we then go into 5 Anil. So we have Anil, the brightening, the yellowing, the ripening. Here with the number 5, representing the work that we have to put in, representing the energy that we have to put in. So 5 Anil. Well, I often like to say about the 5, it's not going to just drop in your lap, right? You're going to have to put some energy in if you want to get something out of the 5 day. And what might you get out of it? Well, Anil is rather nice Nawal, right? It's all about the abundance that comes. It's about the harvest. It's about the ripening of the corn. But of course, the corn we don't just throw the corn out into the field and, kind of a few months later go back and pick the ripe one. We've got to go and water it. We've got to hoe it. We've got to give it some, some nutrients and that kind of thing. We're going to put our effort into it. And the 5 Anil is a day to put your effort into what you wish to bring to ripeness. So what is it? It's up to you. It's your choice. What do you carry in your net? What have you planted that you wish to ripen? 5 Anil is a day on which to really use your hand, to put your effort, to put your work into whatever it is that you wish to ripen. Now, of course, it might not ripen right away. We're planting those seeds in the spring for a harvest later on. But it's a great day to be tending those seeds or those seedlings to make sure that they're going to be fruitful later on. Whether they are seedlings which are growing in your garden or in your cold frame or whatever it is that you might be growing your seedlings in, or whether they are seedlings of ideas, of projects, of plans that you're trying to bring to fruition later on. From 5 Anil, we then go to 6 Toch. 6 Toch. Toch, the Nawal of service, of offering, of payment. As usual, I'll have on the bottom of the screen right here some ideas of wonderful projects in Guatemala that could use some help. If you feel that you would like to make an offering, make a payment, then they are wonderful projects to support. And we see them with the number 6 today. The number 6, which can represent family, the number 6, which can represent the ultimate stability. So, in particular, I want to talk about Konojel and Odim because they are really supporting the families of San Juan, of San Pablo, and San Marcos. Okay? And so, what a wonderful day to make your offering in order to support those families. Okay? So, Toch also we see as creating health, and it creates health or it brings health through making sure that we have offered up what we need to offer, making sure that we've given what we need to give keeps us healthy. Okay, so there's another good reason for making an offering to one of those organizations. From 6 Toch, we then go to 7 Tzi. So we have Tzi representing the dog, representing guidance, representing authority and law. We also have Tzi representing the vices, and we have it with the number 7. The number 7, which we could see as the top of the mountain, from which we have all of the choices, but also when we have a really good perspective on things. So what are we going to use that for? Well, we could say 7C, making our choices about our guidance. We can also see the 7 as representing finalities are coming to the top of the pyramid. It might be the ending, might be the end of some particular guidance. Now, again, looking at that cat Trecena, I was saying about releasing from one thing in order to let something new into your life. Maybe this is releasing from a particular kind of guidance which is now no longer valid for you, no longer necessary for you. I have this image in my head because 7C, it is the last day of what could be seen as the ceremonial cycle, the last day of the initiation cycle, and it's like our guide or our little dog that's taken us all the way to the top of the mountain where we're about to start a new journey, and now its work is done, now its work is over, now it can rest. Maybe it is kind of like maybe it dies. Maybe it dies away. But this is a time to make your choices. It's like, right, okay, I've come to the top of the mountain using a particular type of guidance or a particular guidance that I was following. Now, with all of these options open to me, what new type of guidance do I want to bring in? What new type of guidance am I going to follow next? 7C might bring that out. Now, another essence that I kind of see with this. If we talk about death and endings, and we talk about Z representing the vices, well, the following day of Washiki Bats is the initiation day, and it might be, kind of like on 7C, that's a day to finish the vices. It's kind of like if there's still something hanging around, if you're, kind of like battling with some kind of like vice addiction or whatever, 7Z might be a great day to be sort of really trying to draw a line under it. Now, I understand perfectly well how, the battle with vices can be. It's not an easy thing. It's not like you can just turn it off like that. But if you were looking for a quit date or something like that, 7C would be a very appropriate one. From 7C, we then move into Washiki Bats, the big day, the day of the new ceremonial cycle, the day of the new initiation cycle, the day on which many Akhihab will be initiated. There will be fires in many, if not all, altars within Guatemala, where people will be celebrating the day of the sacred calendar itself, the day Washiki Bats, on which the Akhihab are married to the calendar, as it were. Okay, the sacred marriage between the calendar and the person who is going to be working with it. So it's a really, really special day. One of the ways that I like to see it is in context of the previous bat's days, because we had 7 bats. That was 40 days ago. Okay, 7 bats, which can represent the finishing of the weaving, the end of the creation. Okay, and then we have 1 bats, which is the beginning of the creation, and then we have 8 bats, which is like bringing the 1 and the 7 together and weaving together the old with the new. It's like the seam between the two cloths. Now, if that old cloth could represent the ancestors, it could represent the elders, and the new cloth could represent the initiates, then you can understand even better why 8 bats might be seen as the day of the passing of the baton from one generation to the next, the day on which these two cloths, the old and the new, are woven together. And so this is a day of initiation. This is a day of celebration. It's a great day to make ceremony, to give thanks for the guidance that the sacred calendar brings to us. It's a great day to make ceremony, to give thanks for those who've passed that knowledge on. Okay, so 8 bats, a very, very important day to give thanks for the guidance which comes from the calendar, and a day of initiation. From 8 bats, we then move into 9 So 9 the Nawal of the path, 9, the Nawal of life. Well, that gives us a good idea about what 9 might be about. It's about stepping out onto our life path. Look, we've gone through these cycles. You remember kind of like if we go way, way back, we're going through this death cycle, rebirth cycle, get on the path cycle, getting the energy cycle, making the refinement cycle, creativity cycle, and here we are bringing it all together. What for? Well, we've just been initiated and now we step out on our life path. Okay? A great day to ask for guidance on where you're going, on where your life path is leading you. 9 that guidance might just come straight to you. It's a great day to get out and discover. Is all about exploration. It's all about novelty. And here we see it with the number 9 representing life. And so it's like, okay, which path do you want to follow to bring some novelty into your life? What do you want to explore next? Which way are you being led on your life path? Now, all of these are very valid questions. Who might answer them? Well, the number 9 also represents the feminine and can represent women. And so it might be a great day to consult with women with regards to your life path. Okay? It's a great day to go wander, to go explore, to go and explore what you may wish to bring into your life. I mean, we could see, like the 8 bats, this sort of ceremonial awakening, and now we're walking out after this ceremony with our eyes wide into this new world, discovering where our life path is going to take us. So be aware, keep your eyes open, keep your senses aware for what's coming in on 9 because it can be a wonderful day for the guidance on your life path. From 9 we then move to 10 Okay, so we have the Nawal of the house, of the home. The Nawal of community. And here with the number 10, representing community, representing friendship and society. Can also be very much seen as leadership within community. And, when we see it with this hands coming together, with this cooperation, we can understand how this is the most wonderful community day. This is a great day to get people together, to understand and help to see where we might be guided in our community, to get together to understand how we might be able to stand up within our community for what needs to happen, because can also be seen as the Nawal of the spinal column. And as the Nawal of the spinal column, it helps us to be brave and to stand up for what is right. Now, when we see that, With the number 10, we can understand, this is kind of the whole thing. We've got to stand up together. Kind of like the twigs in the bundle and all that kind of story, kind of like how to be strong for what needs to happen to bring peace, to bring um, the right things into our society. We need to join hands and do it together. So it's a great day to be doing exactly kind of that kind of thing. Okay? It's also a great day to be cooperating within your community. How can you create a more cohesive, harmonious community together? 10 Ach would be a great day for, let's say, a village meeting or a community meeting to get together to understand which direction to go in. From 10 Ach, we then move into 11 Ish. Ish, the Nawal of the earth. Ish, the Nawal of the sacred sites and the sacred places. Ish, the Nawal, I like to think of it as our connection with the sacred Mother Earth and understanding that we're part of her, that we carry that sacred nature within. So in some ways, we would also associate Nawal Ish with magic because that's what we get when we communicate with Mother Earth. But we can also see it, kind of like when we're combining it with number 11, where we're kind of like going in many different places. And those places might not be immediately apparent. Those places might be unusual. Those places might even be a bit weird in that they don't come naturally to you. So you suddenly get this impulse or this instinct that you want to go over here or you want to go over there or that the earth is drawing you here or there or whatever it is. Maybe it's kind of like by going off the beaten track, as the number 11 would bring out. That's where we find our magic, right? That's what I see with the number 11 is a hugely creative number. But it works best when it's not restricted, when we don't have like preconceived ideas about the straight road or the straight path that we have to walk or whatever, that we're able to go off, we're able to go and improvise. That's where we find our connection. And so it's a day of following our intuition. Follow your intuition about the way that you connect with Mother Earth. Follow your intuition about what you hold sacred around you. Follow your intuition about the ways that you can show your gratitude and help Mother Earth, what you might be able to do. Suddenly getting involved in an ecological project or a cleanup or something like that might be a wonderful use of your time on the day 11-ish. From 11-ish, we then go into 12 Tzikin. So Tzikin, the Nawal of the birds. What have I got singing up there? Something hopping around in the branch up there. Um, the Tzikin around us, okay? And it's the Nawal of the vision. It brings us a vision from sitting high up in the tree or flying high up in the air. We can see a lot further, we can see where we're going. And here we see it with the number 12. Now, the number 12 representing bringing all of our life experiences together. And so we could see it as drawing on our life experience. What are we drawing on our life experience to do? We're drawing on our life experience to help us to understand how to bring our vision into being. We might be drawing on our life experience to bring clarity, to help us to understand where we're going with things. We might also see it as our life vision. Okay, so maybe this is about receiving our life vision. Maybe this is also, we could see it's about using our experience to bring that clarity, help us to see through how our vision can prosper. So, Tzikin is generally seen as a very fortunate day. And the number 12 is seen as a strong, independent, and powerful number. And so 12 Tzikin could be a wonderful day for bringing all of your, kind of like, maybe kind of like at that point in life you had that vision, at that point in life you had that vision. Maybe there is some way of creating this cohesive vision from every vision that you've received during your lifetime and bring them into reality. And then finally, we're going to finish the Trecena of Cat on the day 13 Achmach. Achmach representing pardon and forgiveness. Achmach representing being a human. And the number 13, well, it can represent the ancestors, it can represent spirit. And so, yes, this is a very, very powerful day. And I would say it's a very powerful day for ancestral healing, ancestral clearance. Achmach, the forgiveness. Well, maybe we need to forgive our ancestors. Maybe we need to ask forgiveness from our ancestors. It could be one or the other. But maybe there's a burden which is being carried that needs to be released, going back to that theme of the Trecena of Cat. And here we see it released with forgiveness. It's like time to let go. Maybe there is, kind of like some stuff in your past or the past of your family or something like that, it's time to let go of. But, sometimes we might sort of feel that we can't, kind of like forgive, or we find it really difficult. Maybe it's also that we feel that we can't be forgiven for something. Well, 13 Achmach is a great day to address that. It's a great day to ask for forgiveness from the ancestors, to ask for forgiveness from spirit. So, I suppose it could be a very cathartic day. It could also be a day where, kind of like, again, there may be something in our lives that we feel that we can't get over, feel that we can't forgive under any circumstances and that kind of thing. Now, we're not asking to forget. We don't want to repeat the lesson, but maybe we don't need to carry that with us anymore. And so 13 Achmach might be a great day on which to ask the power of the spirit world to help you to forgive something that you no longer need to carry in your net. So, I hope that you've enjoyed this Trecena of Cat, and I look forward to seeing you again in 13 days' time for the Trecena of Noch. Thank you.